This is very interesting. Jon Voight, the actor, father of Angelina Jolie, he has been a right-wing guy for a while now, pro-Trump guy, kind of a MAGA hero. Jon Voight has gone off script as far as the MAGA people are concerned after the Uvalde, Texas shooting, and is now saying, oh, we need screening and we need testing for people who are going to have firearms. This is absolutely fascinating. Around election 2020, Jon Voight said he thought that he and Donald Trump were in our greatest fight since the Civil War. He has, he used to be kind of like a moderate. He supported JFK and whatever, but he's gone completely off the rails more recently. Conspiratorial stuff, talking about Democratic propaganda with subliminal messages, that Obama was a godlike figure, that he would make America socialist. Like Jon Voight went hard right and pro-Trump. And all of a sudden, in the last few days, 2 days ago, right after the Uvalde, Texas shooting, he put out what I would argue are the sanest words he has spoken in years, going 180 from what the MAGA people believe. Take a look at this.
Sure that we will never see this horror again in this lifetime. We must identify every individual for their credentials, for their mental capacity to bear arms.
Right.
There should be proper qualifications for gun ownership and proper testing. One should only own a gun if they're qualified and schooled. I stand with all. I stand for freedom of each soul's truths. I stand for God's truths. I stand for one to be condemned for evil doings.
Now, he still can't get away from this weird conspiratorial religious speak. He can't even get away from that in this segment. But he's saying we need testing, we need evaluation, we need licensing, we need training. This is already more than Republicans are willing to concede.
And that they must pay a price. May God watch over all and bring comfort for this loss which may never heal. For each child was so precious a gift. And God will call on Jesus to pray for these families. Love to you.
Yeah. So he's still a very wacky guy. I'm not going to deny that. But this is not going to put him in the good graces of the Trumpists, that's for sure. But everything Jon Voight is saying makes perfect sense. How do you buy? Over the weekend, I spent time looking at how do you get firearms in Switzerland? People love to talk about Switzerland and guns. How do you get guns in a number of different countries? Look at Japan as an example. In order to get a gun in Japan, you have to take a firearms class and pass a written exam. That's only done 3 times a year. So it's not like, oh, I want a gun this weekend. I'll just go and do the thing this weekend. That's number one. You've got to get a doctor's note saying you're mentally fit and have no history of drug abuse. You have to apply for a permit to take live firing training. That can take a month to get. You have to meet with police and explain, why do you need a gun? You have to pass a review of your criminal history, gun possession record, employment, involvement with organized crime, personal debt, relationships with friends, family, and neighbors. You have to apply for a gunpowder permit. You then have to take a 1-day training class and pass a firing test. You've got to get a certificate from a gun dealer describing the firearm that you're looking to buy. Then you've got to, if you want a hunting gun, apply for a hunting license. You have to buy a gun safe and an ammunition locker that meets safety regulations. You then have to let police come in and inspect that you actually have the proper storage setup. You pass one more additional background review. And at that point, you are given a permit with which you can go and get your gun. You can still get a gun, but there is serious scrutiny of the people that are looking to do it. Many of those elements are part of what I've laid out. And I have to tell you, all my liberal gun owning friends are fine with everything on my list. And why wouldn't they be? Because their goal isn't more guns in more places. Their goal is we have a Second Amendment. Different people might have different reasons for wanting to have a firearm, which, by the way, might include that so many right wingers have them. And I'm willing to go through a difficult process because it will make me feel better that only people who really safely can have firearms have them. It's listen, as far as Jon Voight goes, It's glad to see him talk a little sense. It's been about a decade of him not making any sense, unfortunately, sadly. I don't know that any of those things I mentioned last week or that Jon Voight mentioned in his clip are going to become a reality anytime soon. But we are seeing some cracks with a few Republicans saying, okay, now it's too far. Now we finally have to do something. We'll soon see whether they do.